The old woman lived at the edge of the village where the river met the woods. Her home was a small, humble cottage, nestled where the river's gentle flow met the dense, whispering woods. She was known only as the Weaver. Her name had long been forgotten, replaced by the title that spoke of her mysterious craft. Her cottage, shrouded in mist and mystery, housed an extraordinary secret. The mist seemed to dance around her home, as if guarding the secrets within. The Weaver possessed a gift, a burden, the ability to weave the threads of fate. Her hands moved with a grace that belied her age, each motion deliberate and filled with purpose. On her ancient loom she wove tapestries that mirrored the lives of the villagers, past, present, and future. The loom itself seemed to hum with an ancient power, its wooden frame worn smooth by years of use. Each thread a choice, each knot a consequence. The colors of the threads were vibrant, each hue representing a different path, a different destiny. The villagers spoke of her in hushed tones, a mix of fear and reverence. They knew that her tapestries held power, but they did not understand the full extent of it. Some believed she was a witch, others a saint. The debates often grew heated, with some villagers insisting that her powers were a gift from the gods, while others feared she was meddling with forces beyond human understanding. But all agreed her tapestries held the power to alter destiny. The ethereal light that seemed to emanate from her work only added to the sense of awe and mystery. Yet the Weaver lived a solitary life, her heart heavy with the knowledge of the thread she controlled. She often pondered the weight of her responsibility, knowing that each decision she made could change the course of someone's life. The tapestry of life, she knew, was a delicate balance, easily disrupted. She worked tirelessly, her fingers weaving not just threads but the very fabric of existence, striving to maintain harmony in a world full of chaos. One stormy evening, a stranger arrived at the Weaver's doorstep. The wind howled through the trees, and the rain fell in relentless sheets, drenching everything in its path. He was tall and cloaked in shadows, his face etched with sorrow. His eyes, though hidden beneath the hood, seemed to carry the weight of countless untold stories. He carried himself with an air of quiet desperation, each step heavy with the burden of his past. The rain seemed to mirror his inner turmoil, each drop a tear from the heavens. The Weaver, her heart heavy with premonition, invited him in. She sensed the depth of his sorrow and the urgency in his demeanor. The stranger, his voice ragged with grief, told his tale. His words were like shards of glass, cutting through the silence of the room. He spoke of a love lost, a tragic accident, a past he desperately wished to change. His voice trembled as he recounted the moments that led to his despair. He had heard whispers of the Weaver, of her power to mend broken fates. Hope flickered in his eyes, a fragile light in the darkness of his sorrow. Desperation dripped from his words as he pleaded with her to weave him a new tapestry, a tapestry where his love still lived. His hands trembled as he reached out, seeking a lifeline. The Weaver listened, her heart heavy. She felt the weight of his plea, the raw emotion in his voice. She knew the risks, the intricate dance of cause and effect. The threads of fate were delicate, and altering them could have unforeseen consequences. Yet she couldn't ignore the pain in his eyes, the desperate hope that clung to his every word. The Weaver stood before her loom, the stranger's plea echoing in her ears. The loom, a majestic contraption of aged wood and polished bone, hummed with latent energy. It was a conduit between the mundane and the mystical, a tool of creation and destruction. Her fingers, gnarled with age, traced the threads of the stranger's tapestry. She saw his past, a vibrant tapestry of love and laughter, shattered by a cruel twist of fate. To grant his request, to reweave his past, would have consequences. Ripples that could distort the present and unravel the future. The Weaver felt the weight of her gift, the burden of playing God. Could she tamper with the delicate threads of fate? The Weaver, her heart torn but her resolve firm, decided to honor the stranger's request. She chose her threads carefully, each one representing a moment in time, a choice made, a path taken. The air crackled with energy as she worked, the loom humming in harmony with the rhythm of her weaving. The tapestry began to transform. She wove threads of gold, representing the warmth of their love, and silver, reflecting the laughter they shared. Slowly, she unwove the dark threads of the accident, the threads of sorrow and loss. With each movement of the shuttle, the universe shifted, aligning itself with the new reality she was creating. Days turned into nights as the weaver tirelessly wove the stranger's new destiny. Finally, she completed the tapestry. It shimmered before her, a radiant reflection of the stranger's deepest desire. The accident was gone, replaced by a future where love triumphed. The stranger, his eyes filled with a cautious hope, ran his hand over the tapestry, his heart aching with bittersweet joy. He thanked the weaver, his voice choked with emotion, and promised to honor the new fate she had woven for him. As he stepped out, a flicker of doubt crossed the weaver's face. The tapestry was beautiful, but the threads of fate were rarely straightforward. Section 6. The Unraveling. The stranger left the cottage, his heart lighter than it had been in years. He carried with him the hope of a future where love conquered all. He was eager to embrace this new reality, to hold his love in his arms again. He had been gone only a few days when the whispers began. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of sudden changes, of loved ones behaving strangely, of events unfolding in ways that defied logic. The delicate balance of the village, once familiar and constant, began to waver. Section 7. The Tapestry of Consequences. News of the unfolding chaos reached the weaver. Her heart sank as she realized the gravity of the situation. She rushed to her loom, her fingers trembling as she examined the tapestry she had woven for the stranger. Each thread told a story, each pattern held a secret. Her eyes, old and wise, saw what her heart had tried to deny. The intricate designs now seemed like a web of mistakes. In altering the stranger's fate, she had inadvertently set in motion a chain reaction, a domino effect that was now impacting the lives of everyone he had ever known. The village, once peaceful, was now in turmoil. The tapestry, once vibrant and full of life, now pulsed with a chaotic energy. The colors that once brought joy now seemed to scream in agony. The threads, once meticulously woven, were starting to unravel. Each loose thread represented a life thrown into disarray. The stranger's happiness had come at a terrible cost. His joy was a stark contrast to the suffering of the villagers. The realization struck her like a bolt of lightning. She had not just altered a single life, but had disrupted the entire fabric of the community. She had interfered with the natural order, and the consequences were dire. The weight of her actions bore down on her, a heavy burden she would carry forever. Section 8. Wisdom in the Weave. The weight of her actions pressed down on the weaver. She had always known the power she possessed, but her compassion for the stranger had blinded her to the potential consequences. She had sought to mend one broken heart and had inadvertently shattered countless others. She realized then that she was not meant to control fate, but to observe it, to learn from its intricate patterns. Life was a tapestry, woven with threads of joy and sorrow, love and loss. To tamper with its delicate balance was to invite chaos. Section 9. Acceptance. With a heavy heart, the weaver resolved to set things right. She spent countless hours at her loom, meticulously unraveling the changes she had made. It was a long and arduous process, fraught with emotional turmoil. As she wove and unwove, she whispered apologies to the threads, to the lives she had disrupted. Gradually, balance was restored to the village. The strange occurrences ceased, and life returned to its natural rhythm. The weaver, her heart heavy with regret, but also a newfound wisdom, accepted the tapestry of life as it was, with all its imperfections and complexities. She had learned a valuable lesson, a lesson etched in the very fabric of fate.